Oh, oh, this will be fun. I've done this before, but it's been so long.
Yep. Oh yeah, I mean, you've watched the other stream. Verdon had a blast.
I know. To be fair, I've done things like this, and I used to doodle and paint and such a lot.
Alright, let's see
So,
which
see if
character
my
is
skills come back to me.
this. Does anybody really have paint skills?
And,
Is that a thing people can have?
some are really good at.
Yeah. Alright. Let's go ahead and switch the screen. And I'll set this up right.
Give me 1 second. I'm not sure if that's something on my end or if it's just Discord being.
Hmm.
Oh, Verdon
Alright.
said he couldn't hear me very well.
Oh, let me turn you up too. Try something. Try saying something now.
Something now.
Is that better, Verdon? I can't tell if it's better.
Let me check my input volume and see if things didn't get screwed up.
Yeah, Discord likes to reset settings a lot.
No, my volume settings are doing okay.
Well, I have her maxed out on Discord now, so hopefully that's better.
Yeah,
We
I
wouldn't be
don't
using
know.
Discord, but our TeamSpeak server seems to be down currently, which probably means it needs to be paid for, and it just got left because nobody remembered. Which is fine. That happens periodically.
We have a backup.
We do? Wait,
Yes,
you
it's
do,
called
maybe.
this.
Oh, I was gonna say, I thought you meant like another TeamSpeak. I was like,
Oh no.
I was like, maybe Cal's group does, but we don't.
No, I meant the Discord.
And since this stream chat doesn't show on this overlay, I don't need to keep it so huge anymore. Yeah, that's what
Don't
I
kick your
figured.
ass.
You're a little bit better now, like volume-wise. Did you adjust your settings in Discord on your end?
Yeah, I changed the what was selected from an audio from default to the actual headset and what. So hopefully that helps.
Yep, I think I'm going to turn you back down a little bit because you're peaking, so there we go. That should help. Yeah, we won't need the,
I
the setting.
forgot the terrifying face on switch to character.
Yes, we won't need that page yet. Alright, and also, since we don't have a cam, do you like the lovely picture I've created for you?
Let me see. I don't see where it.
Up in the left hand or the right hand corner.
Oh. Eh.
What? I mean, it's a hex maniac wearing a cowboy hat. This seems accurate.
You know, played several Hex Maniacs, so you know. Ghosts. Yes.
Alright.
Ghost.
Yeehaw! So, Monsters and Other Childish Things.
Yes.
This is our second trip through this thing. So yeah, you've read enough of the book that you know kind of where we're going with this, right? And you've got all your stuff ready. So yeah, as you know, your characters are fourth graders, so you're elementary students. Wow. Oh, you already named your monster. Look at that.
That was from a long time ago, honestly. That was an entirely different concept.
Let's go ahead and nip that in the bud then. Okay. So, first things first, of course. What's your kid's name?
Give me a second. Goes away.
Well, I get the book opened up.
Let me pull up things here real quick. Got
And for those in our audience that don't know what this is, Monsters and Other Childish Things is a tabletop role-playing game where you play as children. It doesn't have to be children, but it's built to be designed for characters to play children, but you could play teenagers. As long as you're not playing full-on adults, I think the system would honestly work. The only reason I say not full-on adults is because the system is built with the stats kind of scaled so that you're not that good, because you're a kid. Kids aren't star athletes, generally speaking. Like, they're not going to be the best of the best. They're not going to beat adults that are also good at those things. That's just the way it is. And the game is designed that way. Like, adults have a different scale of statistics than you do. Because unless your kid's some kind of special snowflake, they shouldn't be smarter or faster or stronger than an adult. Unless, of course, that adult is there's something wrong with them. Like, that could be a possibility. Like, some adults might not be the best at certain things, but if it's something an adult is good at, you should never be better than them at it as a student. But anyways, yeah,
there we
that's
go. Rhett
kind of the
Thomas.
shtick. Rhett Thomas. Okay, so another boy. I figured as much.
You know me.
Okay. Well, from that, what are your parents and or guardians, and what are their names?
Let's see here real quick. First off, let me try and remember what day, like what year this was set. Wasn't it 1992?
1994.
Gotcha. Okay, I knew it was somewhere in that age. But
Yeah.
that
We're gonna be playing in late spring, early summer 1994.
cool.
In rural America. Middle of nowhere. Wonderful little town of Whimsy. Except you're a kid, so you don't think it's so wonderful. It's actually really boring.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to. That moment when names are some of the hardest.
Oh, of course, they always are.
Uh,
Exactly, Gordon. We know. We know better. Also, just remembered, we don't have any music, so let's fix that. That was the wrong tab.
you know me so well, Verdon.
So we're gonna go on over to the YouTubes and find some nice royalty-free music. Because we do not want YouTube or Twitch and or YouTube to mute our VODs or copyright strike us. That would be nice if that didn't happen.
A little bit.
There we go.
Lydia and Richard Thomas.
Alright. And of course, what's your birthday?
Hey, let me do some.
The year is less important than the date. Like, but you are a 4th grader.
Let me just, because it's been a long time since I've been in 4th.
I don't want to hear it. It's been a long time since I've been in school of any kind.
While I do this, I have it because right now I'm working at Kroger, and basically, I buy alcohol from there, and
Yeah.
a couple of people, like, I have extreme baby face, and so a couple people are basically just like, wait, you're over 21? I'm just like, I'm 25, almost 26.
I know that feel too well. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm 6 foot, I would probably have the same problem, but like, that's why I have this. Nobody knows I suffer from extreme baby face because of this stuff on my face here. You can't see the baby face through the hair. It's magic.
Okay. So... Sorry, I'm being a bit anal retentive about the numbers.
I get ya. Yep. Beards are the ultimate anti-babyface machine.
Not minus 100, thank you very much.
Why not? You don't want to be a negative number in the age? I'm negative 47. How does that work? I don't know. I'm bad at math.
I don't fucking know.
Kid's just like, I'm really bad at math, I'm sorry.
Brains are like negative dice. The dice you roll actually detract.
You don't have an intelligence stat, you have a stupidity stat. I used to do that all the time to people with D&D. I'd be like, roll stupidity, and they'd roll intelligence, and then it would basically be like, did you do the dumb?
Alright, dates and numbers and such.
Like, it was actually pretty funny because that was back in 2nd edition, so people just knew I meant to just reverse the way you did it. Like, instead of trying to roll under, you'd try to roll over for a stupidity check. Because basically what stupidity checks were is failing forward. I would make you do something stupid that would accidentally trigger what you needed to do. Like tripping and falling onto a trapdoor button. You hurt your head a bit, but you know, the door's open now.
There we go.
You found the secret bookcase that swivels around. By doing so, you fall on your face, kind of thing. Like that sort of deal. Naturally. And the school is the same as what I told Verdon. I gotta remember the exact wording. It's the Whimsy County Public. This is actually pretty good music. And your teacher is Mr. Herring. Herring.
H.
Erring.
Gotcha.
Like that. You don't have to worry about filling in the monster line currently. So we'll skip right down to the subjective evaluation. So yeah, a little bit about your character's appearance. Okay. doesn't matter which order you fill these out in, just if you have one prepared, go for it.
Fair enough. I'm just gonna... 1 second. Not do that. Let me just change my by push to talk key real quick, because it's getting annoying.
Yeah. That's why I'm glad I now have a mouse that has the extra buttons, because I have one of the extra buttons on my mouse set to my push to talk now. It's quite easy, quite nice actually once you get used to it. It's the first time I've ever had a mouse with more than just the regular buttons and a mouse wheel, though, so it took a while to adjust.
I figured it as much.
It's also a junk mouse, but it works. It's only missing one button.
As long as it works.
The button I originally had set for my push-to-talk key already broke and fell off. So I had to change to one of the other buttons, the only other extra button, so eventually that's going to break off too, and then I'll have to just get another mouse. Not that I paid for this or anything, so it's fine.
Gee.
Alright, while you get working on that, I'm gonna go grab a refill for my drink real quick. So just keep filling stuff out, I'll be back.
Cracky.
I am also back. Alright, we got a little bit of a start on the appearance, I see.
Yup. Trying to think of some little more flavorful bit to add in there.
Yeah, just tell me about your character. Who is Rhett Thomas?
Give me a second. To collect my thought. Also, clear my head a bit.
Also, now that you're back, Vernon, how's the volume mix with between Ryft and the music? I'm sure you can hear me, because if you can't hear me when I'm boosted up to like 450%, there's something very wrong. Turn the music down a little bit? Okay. And now I have somebody that doesn't usually come out here when I'm doing stream
I have
stuff.
to get used to actually pushing the right button.
Look, it's not Hyperion.
Whoa. Yeti.
He doesn't usually come around when I'm doing stuff, so it's funny that he came over. A little tail hook, always. He is a shedder, that's for sure, though.
You know, he's overall just looks like an average kid. It's skinny, but always has this air about him like he doesn't really expect much from other people, and is usually kind of taken aback when people are, you know, actually pay him mind.
Okay. So he's not necessarily a loner, but kind of a little bit of a jerk.
A little bit, but you'll find out the reason for that. That'll probably come towards, like, doing the... That's not what I meant to do.
Uh-oh.
Apparently pressing control and trying to scroll around on Roll20 does things.
Oh, interesting.
Like, it zoomed out.
Oh, no, that's the browser. You changed your browser zoom.
GG.
Yeah, I've been there, done that. That's why I don't use... I honestly just use something on the numpad as a push-to-talk. That's usually what I do. I use num0 for a lot of the time.
Let me see...
You just can't, like, have numlock on while you're typing, because otherwise you'll start typing a bunch of zeros, obviously. And the plus side of num0 is it's kind of out of the way of everything else. So it takes a bit of adjusting, but it's nice and out of the way. And it's on the other hand. The only problem is trying to do push-to-talk while you're also playing a game, but that's not an issue here.
Yeah, that's why I usually use the tilde key when I'm gaming, because it's right next to WA.
Yeah, exactly. I used to use that, but I changed it. Because I got tired of trying to type things and having a billion tildes. So, from what I can gather of what your description, like, he would be someone who's slow to trust, but once you've earned his trust, it's yours.
Basically.
Like, he's not somebody that you just become friends with instantly.
Basically.
Like most kids are. Most kids are like, we've met, we've talked for 2 seconds, we're friends now.
Yeah, he's not like that.
Unlike Mudboy over there. He needs to have crazy hair, give him a pump.
I am not giving him a pump. Mud.
His boy is a very dirty boy. He likes to play in the mud and dirt and things.
Okay, now comes the, like, what parameters do I have for favorite thing?
It literally can be anything. It's a thing. If it's
Fair
your
enough.
favorite, it's your favorite thing.
Hey, fair enough.
It could be a fire truck, it could be a person, it could be a duck. It could be all ducks. It could be one very specific duck that you've named Franklin. I don't know. It's up to you.
Bubbly, bubbly, bubble. My bubbles. That's all that popped into my head.
Yeah, these don't need to be like blocks of text describing your character, they can be just like footnotes, like bullet points basically. For your personality and appearance and things like that.
Yeah, I just need to be I need to get the basics down and then I might expound a bit later.
Yeah. And did you actually get the stuff that I mentioned before that you should have prepared but done, like the the good thing you've done, the bad thing you've done?
I have ideas, but I don't really have a solid thing for it. Like, I do kind of... One second. This thing is starting to annoy me now. It's stuck on, isn't it?
Yes.
There we go. The bad thing will depend on, like, relationship stuff, based on what I can do with that, because it ties into why his personality is the way it is.
Okay. Well, those things will go into the comments section.
Yep. You know what? Let's go basic. It's easy. Snow.
Okay, so he likes snow. Which, given where you live, isn't super common.
Awesome.
It happens every year, but it's not like some places where it's just tons of it. You get a couple inches here and there.
It's enough to have a snowball fight.
Yeah. It's not like here where you can literally just stick your hand in a bank and pull out a handful and you can make a snowball. But it takes a bit of doing, but you can do it.
It's better than here where I literally had to take the entire bit of snow that was on the hood of the car to make one snowball.
Sounds about right.
Damn you, Texas. Check on, like, level of, like, cell phone technology, because I don't remember 1994.
You won't have one in 1994 as a kid.
I didn't think so as a kid. I'm talking about the adults.
Cell phones are still pretty rare in 1994. They'd be like bricks, if your parents had one.
Fair enough.
And your parents would have to be pretty, like, not high class, but like middle high to have one. They're not cheap.
Yeah.
Well, the cell phone itself isn't the pricey part, it's the plans. Because this is in the day and age of, like, there's no cell phones without a plan.
Yeah, like, the idea that I have is basically his father is disabled in some way and requires a lot, like, you know, like more frequent care from his mother. And
Okay.
so a lot of times he's generally just kind of left to do things for himself and
Yeah.
generally feels neglected. And so it's just kind of left him with this, well, what about me?
Well, then I would definitely put that in your personality section, that he's feels neglected, doesn't feel like he gets enough attention from his parents, kind of thing. That's definitely important. Disabled father is definitely something you need to put in the comments section.
Yo,
And all I can think of, though, because of the 90s and that, is Life Alert commercials.
fucking life alert.
I'm falling it! I can't get up! Good thing I've got my Life Alert. It saved my life. Those things, they're still around, but they've definitely changed since then. I think Life Alert is like, there's legitimately just straight up a phone app for it now.
I wouldn't surprise me.
Which is kind of funny. It's like, the whole point of it was it's something you can use when you don't have anything else on you. It's just a necklace that you wear with a button on it. If you put it on a cell phone, inevitably your grandma's gonna leave the cell phone in another room and then fall on her ass, break her hip, and not have it on her. And it's like, that kind of defeats the purpose, having it on your phone app. So yeah, where were you going with that now, though?
The thing I was going for with the bad thing that he did is basically at one point he just kind of got so like, he basically just wanted some form of attention from his mother.
So he's rebelling.
So basically, the thing that I was going with the phone is that, you know, he either removed the batteries or hid it or did that so she couldn't find it, because they basically have that phone for a reason in case, you know, his father needs something, because moving is difficult for him.
Okay, so that makes sense. That's a perfectly good bad thing he did. And it makes sense. That's how, like, sadly, but sad fact of the matter is, when children feel neglected, more often than not, the easiest way for them to get the attention they feel like they need is to do bad things, because parents are sadly more likely to pay attention to them when they do terrible things than they are when they're being good.
Right?
Because if you're being good, they'll just leave you to your own devices and, oh, he's such a good kid. You start doing bad stuff, your parents have to pay attention. They don't have a choice. Or else you're just going to keep getting worse.
In theory, but some parents just genuinely don't care.
Like, yeah, but that's a whole different issue then.
That's a whole different argument.
That, if that happens, the kid will just continually escalate.
Exactly.
Do worse and worse things until it is forced on the parents to pay attention by other people. Because then the school gets involved, or, you know, things like that. So yeah, when you get into comments, just make a new line and do, like, bad thing, good thing, like, and then list what he did, each one. I'm trying to remember what Verdens did. Alright. A simple one, but a fitting one. Run away from home. So we've got some troubled households for these kids, which is fitting for children with monsters, because generally monsters manifest for children who have problems.
Yeah.
More likely to manifest, at least. So we've got one parent, one disabled parent, and one parent with That's because that's what I'm streaming it at, Ender. But the other one is a divorced parent. So we've got a single mother and a disabled father so far in our kids. I'm curious to see what Flint's will have.
A dead parent.
I mean...
You gotta escalate it from here.
Just orphan.
God. A single parent.
Sadly, Ender, I don't have any control over that. That's all Twitch's end. It automatically sets to the one that I stream at, and then if there's going to be options, that's all on Twitch. We don't get enough viewers to really be on their radar, probably, so that'll be what it's at. Because I don't have very good upload speed, so I can't stream at 1080.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
I don't know why that's in the middle of the screen, but thank you for the follow, Ender.
Alright, now I gotta think about the good thing. Is it bad the bad thing was easier to think of than the good thing?
I mean, that makes sense. Like, it's not necessarily just nowadays, but in general, like, the human brain is more attuned to negativity than it is positivity a lot of times.
This negativity has the potential to do bad things to you, so it brings some more problems.
Yup. So how you doing today, Ender? Okay, the music did. I thought the music stopped for a second there, but no, it's still going.
Is it like a singular good thing, or can it be over a period of time?
Up to you. Like, it doesn't have to be a singular thing, it can be, though. But if it's, like, Verdon's example was, he rescues pets that are lost from the local woods.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's more than one thing. Alright, Ender. Well, thanks for following either way.
I think my mom just came home, so the dogs are about to go nuts.
Bark.
Fork indeed.
Also, I love that the way that they categorize the stats is basically the way they used to do like grading in schools. The needs improvement, meets expectations, exceeds expectations, highly proficient, and gifted. That's what the numbers are in the stats.
Lol. Back in my day.
Like they're homogenized ways to say your kid's dumb is he needs improvement. I can't call your son a moron, so he needs improvement.
You're doing a stupid. There we go. He frequently helps others study in school.
Okay, so he kind of tutors people.
Yeah. For maybe more for his own benefit than for theirs, but it's really like one of the only times he gets a lot of interaction.
Yeah. Alright, well you can fill in more on this later if you want to, but for now we can move on to the next section, which is statistics. Woo! So yeah, as we went over with Verdon, the stats in this game are feet, guts, hands, brains, and face. Parts of the body, which are also your hit locations, so when you get attacked, those are the places you get hit in, and if you're doing actions where you get hit, you're going to lose dice off of your actions if the other person hits you before you get to go. That's how this system works. Everybody gets one roll every round, but the order in which the rolls happen is what really matters. And that's kind of the fun of the way this initiative system works in this game. The initiative system is, like, there's two versions of it. There's one, the people with the highest, like, smarts declare their actions last. Then, the actions happen based on the person's physical ability to move faster. So you as the person that thinks, even if you don't have the physical stats, get to know what everybody else is doing first, and then go, this is what I'm doing. Even though you'll probably end up being last if you have no good stats for that.
Yeah.
So you can kind of plan around it. Like, if a bunch of people are like, I'm gonna punch him in the face, you're gonna be like, I'm not doing any face-based actions, obviously. Because that'll hurt.
Okay, let me find the dice thingy here. The thing in the book.
It's not rolls.
No, it's stats and skills.
Stats. You have 10 dice to divide as you want. Everything starts at 1. Nothing can be higher than 5.
Okay, let's see.
And for this stat sheet, all you do is tap on the number you want, and it'll circle it.
Okay.
So everything starts at 1, so let's just go through and go bing, 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 bing. Just get your baselines down, and then you can change them.
Okay.
So what are you thinking on this character? What's he good at? Is he a thinker? Is he a talker? Is he good with his hands? Is he gutsy? Is he fast on his feet?
Let's see. I'm thinking that, well, it's my character, so it's brains.
He's a brainiac. Okay, I figured as much given he's tutoring people and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's 3 dice down. That leaves you with 7.
Let's see. He's also fast on his feet.
Ooh. Going right for the 4 on both of those. Okay. Oh, going down to 3.
I'm considering right now.
Okay, so right now you're at 5 dice down, so you've got 5 dice left.
So
3 stats left.
let's see.
And as I mentioned when Verdon was doing this, the stats you put into the main statistics have nothing to do with the skills. So the skills can be spread out even in stats that you're not very good at.
Fair enough.
It's like, even if you have a 1 in a certain stat, you can still have 3s and 4s in the skills underneath it.
Let's see. I'd definitely say this. He's not, at this point, a very charming fella. So I'm probably going to leave that at 1.
Okay.
So let's see.
Now, I will say, Guts, as you can see, has a skill in it called Wind.
Yeah.
You might be fast on your feet, but if you don't have any Wind or Guts, you're not going to be able to do it for very long.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I'm just tallying up my stuff right now.
You've got 5 dice left.
5 dice left, and I'm just figuring out where I want to put things. So... yeah. Let's see.
Alright, so that's another 2 into hands and 1 into guts, so that puts you down to 2 dice left. One left.
No, decisions. Well, I'm gonna do...
Alright, so he is a brainiac, alright. Gifted.
Yes. Yes, quite gifted. If only his parents saw that. Or paid attention. Damn it.
Alright, so there's the stats are set. So now skills. Skills all start at 0, of course, and you have 15 dice to spend on them, up to 5 in any single one. This is the section where you're a little more limited in the number of dice you get, so you want to kind of spread them around, or you can focus and just have nothing and other stuff.
Yeah, I get you.
Because 15 dice is not a lot when you have 15 skills.
Yeah, a little bit.
But you're kids. You should be super good at everything.
I'm looking at skill outsync, and all I'm thinking is I remember a story that my mom told me where she put me in timeout when I was like 3 or 4, and she said, I don't want to see daylight between your butt and that stick. And my solution was basically to just pick up the chair and, and walk around with it.
Yeah, aka being a smartass.
Right?
From the sound of your kid, he probably should have at least a point in connive.
Sure.
Well, your face is low. You seem like you might be better at that portion of it.
Yeah.
Alright, so far we've spent 4 dice. So you've got 11 left.
You just open the book here real quick and look at... Okay.
One thing I like about this game is that the skills are pretty self-explanatory. Like, I wonder what punching does.
Right?
That's 7 points down, then?
Might change things around here, but...
Yeah, you can always tweak.
Yup.
Line.
Let's see, so I've spent 9 points so far, right?
Let's see, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points so far.
Okay, then I think I know what I'm gonna do.
So you got 4 left.
Okay.
There you go. So for the most part, you're pretty much brains based, but you've got a little bit of feet. You've got enough stamina to keep doing the feet part, and you're a little bit conniving.
Yep.
But you're not a charmer. You're not good at shop punching or blocking.
No.
You're not that brave, and wrestling is gross.
Let's see. I might give him 1 point of courage. Might just tweak things just a little bit here.
Yeah, just remember, when you roll these, most of the time you'll be rolling them with the stat they go to, but not always. So, like, right now you're gonna get like 8 dice on an outthink check usually. 7 on remember and notice. Like, that's a good chunk of dice. You can never roll more than 10 dice in this game.
Yeah, but, you know, it's...
Oh yeah, it's not a bad thing. Like, I'm just saying, like, that's how it works.
Yeah, it's a fun times when you have high stats.
Once you're ready to finalize them, we can move on.
Let's see, a little bit of clarification on... let's see.
Which one?
No, I was like, if I'm guessing that running would be like feet plus PE. Something like
Usually,
that.
yes. Unless it's like long distance running, then it would be feet plus wind.
Yeah.
Yes, it's pretty like it all depends on how you're doing stuff and what you're doing it. How you're doing it, like, is what determines what you'll roll. So if you're running and trying to just get speed, yeah, it's gonna be feet plus P. But if you're trying to just keep a jog going for a long period, it'll be feet plus wind. It's all about how you try to approach a problem, is what you use.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. He's definitely the kind of person who would rather he would rather run from the scary than fight the scary. So this makes sense.
That's what monsters are for.
Nope.
Alright, you done with them then, for stats? And skills?
Yeah.
Alright, moving on to relationships. So for relationships, you get how many dice? 6 dice to spread out as you want. You can have up to 5 in a single relationship, and relationships are much like they sound, except they can literally be anything. It doesn't have to be a person, it can be a thing, an object, a place. It's just something that you feel a connection to that's important to you. With the exception of your monster. Everybody's bonded to their monster, that's a whole different special relationship.
Oh.
You can also, if you want to, keep some of the dice and save them for if you want to attach yourself to other characters in the group. But that's not required.
I might hold on to a couple dice for that.
Okay.
This guy doesn't really have, like, a ton of friends, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with his parent.
Yep, and all you do with that is just relationship, and then you put in who. Okay, the mom, of course.
So here comes the tricky part. It just depends on... because... this one I'm looking at the balance of how much he actually wants a relationship with his mom to the fact that he resents the fact that he doesn't really have as much a relationship with his mom as he wants.
So there's actually something fun about that. Relationships are fun.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna start this with...
I'm gonna go over how relationship dice work, kind of, a little bit.
Okay.
Basically, it's a special pool of dice that are small, that can give you confidence or strength in moments of trial.
Yeah.
Say, for example, you're struggling on this test, and you're like, I want to use my relationship dice, and it's like, okay, so how do you rationalize using relationship dice on a test? Because normally you would have to have a relationship with the person that involves the test, right?
Yeah.
Right. But that doesn't necessarily need to be a direct thing. You could say, if I don't pass this test, my mom will be disappointed in me.
Yeah.
So you use your mom dice. Say, for the example they give us 4 dice. So you'd roll an additional 4 dice. And now, if you succeed, good. You succeeded. Your mom will be so proud of you. If you fail, you can jeopardize your relationship. When you use relationship dice, if you fail them, the check that you use them on, it can actually put dice at risk. And if you don't fix that, you can actually lose dice.
Okay.
It's called relationship shock.
Yeah. I read
Which then
this-
requires you to actually, like, interact with the source of your relationship to try to fix it. Quality time.
If he could actually get it. Good God. I can think of a couple creative ways around that, but, you know. basically. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, if you want, that's how that system works. It's just a dice pool that you can call on when you need to use them, but they're always a risk-reward thing. You can also let your monster consume relationships temporarily and use those dice itself. But again, that puts them at risk.
Yeah, I remember reading that. Let's see. You know, the dad just seems like it seems like at that borderline between superficial and important because it's his dad, but also he sees that his dad as the source of a lot of his problems.
Yeah. It's not so much that he doesn't have a good relationship with his dad, it's that his dad is the source of a lot of his angst.
Basically. See, I have 3 dice left, don't I?
It's funny that you say that, Crypto, because this game is actually not very complicated at all when it comes down to it. It's a very simplistic system. It's not complicated so much it's just hard to make choices because it's so open about what it lets you do.
Trust me, I've played in far more complicated systems.
This isn't Shadowrun, or Pathfinder, or
Eclipse Phase.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or Eclipse Phase, or something like that. That's a whole nother ball field.
Eclipse Phase, where character creation literally takes about an hour.
Yup. And that's not just because you're thinking of things, that's because it's literally you just filling in endless amounts of boxes and referencing tables and things.
I love the Eclipse Phase universe, but my god, the character creation.
Well, that's how I am with Shadowrun. Like, I like Shadowrun as a world, but I don't like the system very much. It's too hung up on its own clunk.
Yeah.
Alright, so you've spent 3 dice.
Yeah. So, I'm just trying to figure it out from there. Because, due to how he is, I'm struggling for the last 3, but I'm probably, I can hold on to the dice.
They just have to be spent before we start the game.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like, you can't just have dice in limbo when we actually start playing. That doesn't work.
I figured as much. I might leave that for now and come back to it if I have a thought.
Okay. Like I said, it can be things or places as well.
Alright, well, I have to go feed the dogs real quick, so I will be right back.
Alright, no worries.
BRBs.
So how are you doing today, Cryptonym? If you're still there. We're gonna get to the best part of the character creation after this. The follow thing on the bottom is way too small on this. I'll have to fix that. So how we doing, chat? Having fun? We're gonna get to drawing Ryft's monster once she gets back, after feeding the dogs. The best part.
my lungs. And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember, I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember.
Okay, I returned from being utterly waylaid by people.
Oh boy, welcome back.
And
So we're on to the big part now. The monster. And before we even start, we're not even going to bother with the character sheet yet, we're going to go straight over to painting first.
oh boy!
So time for the best part of the thing. And then this is the part where, even now, this time, I don't actually know what's going to be drawn, so me and chat will both try to, like, guess as we go here. So, it's your canvas.
Guess as you may, guess as you might. I can find the tab, there we go. Okay, let's see how big this goes. Oh, no, nope,
You can control Z on here as well.
nope, I remember. I remember from Burton's monstrosity.
Yes, the potato that nobody could guess. I'm not surprised nobody could guess it, given the spacesuit. I think without the spacesuit, you could have easily been like, that's a potato.
The Irish space program.
That would have been funny too, but I think Sputnik was good. That's not actually his name, but it works. It's a good name for it.
Alright, let's see.
Looking at a very blank canvas.
Yeah, because I'm trying to adjust the little thing down to a proper size.
Ooh, big sweeping arc. Oh yeah, I gotta zoom this out.
Yeah, I tend to use a lot of canvas.
I forgot about the fact that it zoomed in so much when you're at default. So I gotta actually zoom it out so we can see the whole canvas. So far, we're looking a little serpentine so far.
A little bit.
But I don't know what that is on the middle there. Like,
It's a guideline. It's not staying.
okay.
Well, I presume you're not expecting the Mona Lisa, so...
No, of course not. Like, that's the point. We wouldn't be using paint if I wanted it to look good. You saw what I did to Verdens with the background, right?
Yes.
I love the background that I added. It's great. I plan to do the same thing with all of them. Like, I'll let you guys draw the monster itself, and then I'll add some kind of, like, scene around it afterwards in GIMP.
Admittedly, I'm calling back on a lot of my old drawing helper.
TAFE.
This is gonna turn out fantastic, I can tell. Worthy of the fridge.
The fridge! That's all Verdens' idea originally, too, so I'm so glad he thought of it. The fridge is genius. Oh, ooh.
Probably gonna have to adjust the tail, but that's fine.
The more scuffed, the better. It's supposed to look like a Kindred.
Yup. Oh, scuffed up is, yeah.
Where's Angry when you need him? He'd be going crazy. There's almost a snake on the screen. Get some dragon vibes, but also that mouth gives me robot vibes a little bit. The way there's like a hinge. What do you think so far, Verdun, if you're there? You haven't chimed in a while. Grr, I am Reptar.
Oh, that's what that. Okay, okay. I was trying to. Figuring things out.
Did you disconnect?
As far as I'm aware, no.
Okay, because for a second there, like, the drawing thing, the little, like, face up in the top disappeared and reappeared.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened. The
That's
drawing
weird.
on my screen disappeared for a second.
Yeah, it must have disconnected you for a few seconds there. You haven't drawn anything more than what's on the... Okay, yeah, you're erasing now, okay. I was like, I wanted to make sure. Last time we had a little bit of a desync, it seemed like, where part of it just didn't show up on the stream. Jordan drew it. So I wanted to make sure that didn't happen again. But it seems like it's fine so far.
Yeah. Alright. For those of you lucky enough to be here tonight, have a peek into my middle school sketchbook.
Oh yeah.
Would you really expect anything else of me?
I mean, I have old sketchbooks laying around. They're filled with pretty awful stuff, honestly.
Yeah, I got some fairly nice sketches, but they're also just like, what?
Sadly, they're not on the shelf next to me. Because most people can't see anything. Like, yeah, the camera doesn't really show anything around me. It's just got the white background behind me at the wall. But if I were to, like, tilt the camera... you can kind of see I've got a massive shelf next to me. Pretty much nothing but D&D books and things of the sort on that shelf. Some games mixed in. At some point before the game, I actually planned to make a reference sheet for this game.
Cool.
Because that's the one thing I think this game lacks that I haven't seen online at all, is some kind of reference sheet. Just a single page with a lot of, like, formulas for what you use for different things and stuff like that. Like how initiative works is a good one. Because the initiative system in this game is probably the most complicated part of the entire system. Because it's got that White Wolf style thing where you actually declare your actions before they happen kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it changes it up by making it so that they then happen in a different order than when they're declared.
Yeah. Now this is gonna be messy, but
That's the point.
I'm repressing my OCD, right?
How'd they go?
Huh?
Oh, I'm just looking at my shelf and I had my dice on here, but they're not where I left them, so I'm not sure where I put them.
Oh no, the perspective on this is gonna bug the shit out of me. The janky drawing for a janky critter.
That's the idea.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down.
So yeah, I'm definitely getting Robot Dragon vibes.
I'm searching for the lost and found.
Or at least mechanical, not necessarily a robot.
You're unaware, keep moving like the scars aren't
Think
even there. It's
part mechanical, think part stitched together.
Yeah, like, it kind of reminds me of the movie 9 a little bit.
Heard of it, but I've never seen it.
It's a good movie.
The basic plot of it.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Tim Burton, of course. So it's aesthetic.
Oh, cool.
shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the whole.
Admittedly, I was slightly better with my hands, but
See, when I was younger, I didn't draw in paint either. I did all my drawings on actual paper usually. There's never much for the digital stuff.
I touch things up digitally, but I rarely drew digital.
Yeah. I didn't even really do that because I didn't have any, like, we didn't have a very nice computer until I graduated high school practically.
No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I give you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me.
One moment, getting the message.
Okay.
Mosquitoes are coming back now and I don't like it.
Ah, mosquitoes.
I hate them. I hate them so much.
Yeah, they're not back here yet. That's for sure. Bit too cold for them.
Yeah, I saw a fairly accurate little image in one of the meme generals that I saw, which was basically said Texas weather from 72 to 27 like it saw a state trooper.
That works.
And I'm just like, accurate! Oh, good. Zero. There is a zoom. Yay!
Eat. Yeah, I don't remember exactly how it ended up happening, but I just somehow I ended up getting into the habit of drawing it from a slightly side-on perspective. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to do that as a kid too. Like, most of my drawings were face forward a lot of the time too. It depended what it was. Like, people, it was always face forward.
I rarely drew people.
Same, but that's the only way I could draw people if I wanted to.
Clean up this mess. Can't tell you how many erasers I actually went through, but you know.
I'm sure.
I did get a nice set of graphite pencils out of art class, so that was good.
Ooh, yeah, those are fancy and nice.
Like, excuse me.
So I
I
assume.
could actually,
Go ahead.
if I could find one of my favorite like shade drawings that I did, and put it in shitpost later, I'd
I was gonna say is based on this, I'm assuming your kid likes sci-fi a little bit.
a little bit. It's the way I'm going for it.
Sci-fi, fantasy, that kind of stuff. I mean, more so not just necessarily sci-fi.
There's a double meaning to it.
Okay.
There's sci-fi, but then there's also the way that he tends to view his other relationships, which is basically just kind of stitched together.
Patchwork.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking, like, for references in the year that we're in, things that would be airing on TV that you might like and stuff like that.
Yeah.
An example of something that premiered in 1994, Babylon 5.
Ooh.
And Weird Science. Space Ghost Coast to Coast, lol. That's for adults, though. You're not allowed to stay up that late. Or are you, because your parents are neglectful?
Deep Space Nine, I want to say was nearing its second season.
Maybe? I'll look on. I'm looking at stuff that just premiered in the year 1994 right now. Thunderbirds, oh wow. That takes me back. Holy. Thunderbirds was weird.
This is gonna be terrible, but okay. Let's do it. And not do that.
Series that ended in the year 1994. Doug. Returned in 1996. Saved by the Bell, the college years ended in 1993. Oh wow. Or no, it ended that year, but it started in 1993. I forgot the college years even was a thing. There's a big one. Star Trek: The Next Generation ended.
Alright, yeah.
In May 1993.
May of 1993, okay.
Yep. Started in 1987. Year I was born.
The biggest thing I remember is that Jurassic Park came out the year I was born.
That's a big one.
93. Oh, Lordy Jesus, what have I done?
Based on the date when we're going to be playing, the campaign's going to be running through, there's a few things that your characters might be excited about the coming out soon kind of stuff too. It's always funny to look at what came out in that year and think of it in an aspect of being there during that time and be like, oh man, this is coming out. The Tick started in September 1994. That's a classic. Year 1994 in film. Let's see, what movie? The Lion King came out that year.
Huh.
Yeah, I definitely plan to make like a just a big reference document for everybody to share that has just a bunch of stuff that's on TV, coming soon, maybe in theaters, like all that kind of stuff, just so we have a bunch of, like, we can make the references to it during the game. So your character can be like, oh man, I want to go to the cinema and see, you know, X movie. Let's see, what's a good example of one that might be airing during the game? Actually, The Lion King could be one of them, but that actually would have already been out. So it'd be in the theater, but not new. Because it came out June 15th.
Don't ask me how this anatomy works, it just does.
Totally works. It works because it does, that's how. Oh yeah, I know exactly what other movie's gonna be in the theaters during the game. The Flintstones. The live-action movie.
The live action Flintstones!
It's gonna be a two-screen theater, so they're gonna have the Flintstones on one screen, and then what's the other one gonna be? Speed. Flintstones and Speed. Freaking Speed. You ever seen that movie?
I've heard of it.
It's the one that has Keanu Reeves and they are on a bus and they can't slow down or it'll explode. It's a Michael Bay movie. Let's put it that way.
What time is this taking place in? Like what month?
Like I said, late spring, early summer, 1994.
I know what could come out in that. The Mask.
Is The Mask in there? I don't see it on here.
The Mask came out in July 28th, 1994.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at June, that's why. July, let's see. Oh yeah, there it is. 29th, it says on here.
And I played the maracas, I go chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom.
But you're also in the middle of nowhere, so they're likely to have movies that have been out for like a month. It's a small town. You don't get the new movies, you get last month's new movies. Man, we're almost got a complete monster here. Just detail now. And a tail.
Yeah.
Detail and detail. Wheh.
You're terrible, you know that.
Yep.
That's why we keep you around.
Now, you want to know the worst part about this website, though?
Oh.
No bucket fill. I came to that realization real quick when I was using it. We first started looking at it. I was like, there's no bucket fill on here. I was like, yeah, that's because some idiot would just go onto one of the other layers and just color it in a full color, and then nobody could see anything on a lower layer. I was like, yeah, that makes sense, but that's kinda... oof.
Yeah, a little bit. Do I even want to try from the perspective on?
What's our perspective?
You know, the thing most people are lacking.
Perspective. Welcome back, Gordon. Sorry to hear that. You missed out on most of the drawing. There's no fun of guessing what it is at this point, because you can pretty clearly see what it is. Robot Deathclaw.
When did the first Fallout game come?
Oh, I don't know. I don't honestly remember. Like, I don't remember having been aware of the Fallout games until after Bethesda had already ruined them. The original game was 1997. Yep.
Came up with the Deathclaw before the Deathclaw.
They copied this character. How dare they?
How dare they?
This is our own OC Donut Steal. How dare they steal? It's right in the name. Donut Steal it.
Donut.
And it makes sense why I wasn't aware of Fallout when it first released then, in 1997. Because I'd be 10. That's every OC's name. Even if they don't know it. Like, that's actually kind of funny, because no matter how much, I don't care what people say about it, I think my favorite version of that joke ever was a My Little Pony fandom one. Their version of Donut Steal was freaking hilarious looking, because it was the most edgy, stupid thing ever. Somebody basically made like Arnold Schwarzenegger action hero pony, and it had a fucking flaming donut on its butt and stuff, and it was just... what the hell? Donut Steal!
Admire my work here for a moment while I decide what else I want to do.
Yeah, you got a lot. You got a lot of little bits there already.
It's probably just gonna be like filling in details, like just little, like, you know, make this look less bland.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you don't want to try to color it all in on here, because it's gonna get scuffed if you do, probably. I don't know. You might be able to color it pretty okay in here.
Probably have to zoom in quite a bit.
But that might take a long time. We're already almost at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to color it in necessarily, what you can do is just give me like a color coding. So just put like a dot of each color in each area of what it's supposed to be. And then I can just fill it.
Okay.
Because these things are going to be they're going to be on a white background anyway, so they're going to go transparent. Like I'm going to have to remove the white either way.
Yeah, I might just do that and leave it to you.
Pink and orange, huh? Well, of course green. Duh! Everyone knows lizard-type creatures are green. Don't you? I think what you mean to say, Verdon, is that this kid went into his edgy phase early, and this needs to be black and red, and only shades of black and red.
God.
It's like there's black for the base, and then just red, like 30 different shades of red. Black Eyes Red Dragon. Terrible. I'm gonna just give you a come on, bruh. Oh, Verdon. He said, oh, I inverted that. It's meant to be black eye or black red eyes black dragon. And I'm like, come on, bro. Fight for the heart of the cards. So far I'm seeing a lot of the same color. Okay.
One sec. There's, like, the metal bits are more of a grayish blue, whereas, like, if you look closely, the flesh itself is more of a teal.
Okay.
There is distinction in the color, it's just color swatches there.
Yeah. Make sure that you get the eye color.
Yep, that's what I'm doing right now.
This kid really likes blue. Welcome back.
Oh, you can barely see that. I just put yellow in the eye.
Yeah, I can see it. I don't think that's quite. That's not a nickname per se. I don't think is what they call that.
No, Vernon, the kid does not fight for the heart of the cards.
Do you want the belly part to be a different color, like the chest and stomach?
Yeah, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
I just need to. There's one little bit that I forgot.
Staying up when I go out, you gotta know I'm all yours. But when I say what's that about, you start slurring your words. Tell me why you have to seem so distant when I'm holding you. Your fingertips are drifting away, and I fucking love how it hurts. Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Why do I, baby, why do I? Why do I, baby, why do I? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling?
Alright, I think I've got everything kind of color coded. There we go.
Stupid website. There. Let me save the current version.
Here we go. Just filled in one last bit that I forgot.
You like to play your own game. Cover it up, don't let them know what you're thinking. I bet you never tell them how it feels. I bet you never even try to be real. Cover it up, you like to play your own game. Cover it up, don't let them know what you're thinking. I bet you never tell them how it feels.
Alright, that all good?
Even try to be real.
Yep.
Okay. So from here, now that we've got your monster drawn, we get to go back to the character sheet and find out about it.
Wee.
So what is your monster's name?
It's not Mike Wazowski.
Exactly. Michael Wazowski.
There you go. Click Clackjack.
Click Clack Jack. Okay. And his appearance, rather.
Give me 1 second.
Yep.
Dog is barking at me. Here we go.
Bork.
Yeah, bork.
Bork, human, pay attention to me, Bork.
Yeah. They probably want me to turn on the light, so I will be right back.
Love how you can see the little swirl as my loading is working in the background.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Now let's see. There we go. This monstrosity is cuddly.
Oh boy. His favorite thing is eggs?
I think that's a fill-in.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I was like, did you do that or does it do that?
Huh. That's bizarre.
So would you say, based on the appearance, like when your monster walks and stuff like that, does it sound like the Tin Man from freaking Wizard of Oz, all clanky and stuff?
Slightly, there's a slight whirring sound from like, you know, the mechanical parts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Alright. How specific or broad should the way to hide be?
It's should be pretty specific. Like, it's how your monster disappears away when you don't need him, kind of thing. Where does he hide? Like for the example one in the book they give, of course it says the under a lampshade. And Verdon's, for example, like his little potato spaceman shrinks down to the size of a fly and buzzes around his head, orbits him, literally. And just for reference, monsters can automatically recognize other monsters even when they're hiding. It's just something they can always do. So you can't hide from other monsters unless you specifically have an ability to do so.
Okay.
Ah, he's gonna be a wristwatch.
I thought about going slightly more broad and just being like small clocks including wristwatches, but
Wristwatch, pocket watch, either way works.
yeah.
And you don't need to fill in the monster's stolen or borrowed relationships because that comes up in the game. So now the real meat and potatoes of this. Let's go back to the draw page for a second. And you need to click on... Let's move this load down. On the layer section down in the right-hand corner, double-click on layer 3. So now you're drawing on that layer. And point to your first location on your monster. Because the monster is made up of anywhere from 4 to 10 hit locations, which are where its stats, all of its abilities come from. These are important parts of the monster that are very easily recognizable and can be pointed to on the picture. And that's where all of their abilities will come in, from each location. Just like you saw when we did Verton's.
Yeah. Okay.
Things like his tail, his claws, his jaws, like...
Yep.
Any part of him that should have a specific... is like a location that's big enough to be hit by enemies and important enough that it's going to have abilities and can be used in some way. Every body part that you point out will have either attacks, defends, or useful automatically. One of those for free.
Okay.
The more locations you the more locations you have, the less dice each one will have in its abilities. The less locations you have, the more dice they'll have, but the more likely they'll get hit, the bigger the location is.
Yeah, I get you. Alright, so do you want me to mark them in a specific way, or...?
Just point an arrow at the part of the body and then give it a name. That's why we're on a different layer, so we can hide it or show it as we wish.
Yeah, I just wanted a different color. Oh boy, my already abysmal handwriting gets even worse.
So you got a snapping jaw. Okay. So then we go back to the code sheet. Now you pointed out that location. We'll add your first hit location. So you'll add snapping jaw in the name location. And how many points is this location?
We have 10 points, right?
10 locations, yeah. And you have to have at least 4.
Okay.
The more points of location you put into it, the more dice it gets. It's 5 dice per location. Now I'm assuming this snapping jaws has the attacks quality.
Yup.
Yeah, I figured as much. The attacks quality is free. The first quality is always free. Then you can get extras or more qualities for 1 die per.
Okay. I think snapping jaw is relatively straightforward.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm sorry I've been slow today. My brain is not braining.
So when you put the 3 dice there, is that... Did you want 3 locations on this?
Let me see. I might take that down to 2, but...
Well, if you want... Locations are different than dice. So if you want locations, you put them here, like 1 through whatever. And you get 5 dice for every location in it. So if it's 2, it's 10 dice.
Oh, okay.
So, like, as it is now, if you did this, 1 to 2 would be Snapping Jaw, 10 dice attacks, and that's all it would have. You would just, when you attack with your Snapping Jaws, you would have 10 dice to roll, which is the most you can ever roll. Or, you could take away some dice to give it extra abilities that make it better in different ways. Like Gnarly, or Wicked, Fast, or Tough, or Spray.
Let's see.
Like, does your monster have a breath weapon? He does look like a dragon.
Yes, he does. Oh, that'll be fun. Let me see.
But he's a robot dragon, so maybe he doesn't have a fire breath.
I was thinking electricity.
Yeah. Yeah, breath
Which
is
might
area.
Huh?
Verdon was saying that breath uses the area extra, which is right.
Let's see. Is there a section in the book that gives me some ideas in here, or section?
In the monsters section, on page 48 is where the extras are.
Okay.
You could also just have the jaws be their own thing and have the breath attack be a separate location, if that was something you wanted to do, but then the attack, that would be kind of weird, because how would they be damaging your breath?
How would they be what?
Like, each location has to be something that can actually take damage. So
Yeah.
you can't just say, oh, it's my breath. Like, there has to be a spot where they're hitting to actually hurt you. But yeah, like if you wanted to say, do like you were saying, lightning breath, you would have attacks, area, and I don't know what else. Like maybe gnarly.
Alright, let's...
And you can have multiple points in the same ability, and it gives it bigger area of effects and things like that. Your monster is also literally made of metal and is a dragon, so tough could make sense on literally every location.
Oh yeah, I was planning on that. It's that moment when you hit the monster and, you know, something tears away, but underneath you see metal. So, you know, fun time.
So what I think we should do here, instead of snapping jaw, shouldn't it be snapping and zapping jaw?
Sure.
The match is struck.
I know what to do.
A blazing star is born.
Thank you for the follow. I couldn't quite see the name, so let me go look at stream elements.
Alright, so I guess the question is, would I be able to bite with it and use the breath weapon?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Big Clady, thank you for the follow. You've struck the match for your torch and have now joined the delve. Or Big Sea Lady. Not sure which one it's supposed to be. If I said it wrong, feel free to correct me in chat.
Alright, what is the width of an action when it comes to Wicked Fast?
Okay. That's the meat and potatoes of this system's rolling system. Width versus height. Let me go back to the page for it real quick. Okay. Width is the number of dice that you roll that match. So if you roll 3 5s, the width is 3. Height is the number appearing on the die. So in that same example, height is 5. So when you type that out, it would be 3 by 5.
Okay.
But when you roll width, it's the number of dice that you rolled that match.
Okay.
Because that's how the system runs. You roll dice, and then you take matching sets to use as your check. And the reason that Wicked Fast uses that is because initiative is based on width, not height.
Whoa. I'm gonna save that one for another thing, so... Area.
Yep.
Let's see.
The way the area works is interesting.
Okay, so
Here it is, area.
that's like 5 feet radius.
For 1 point, yeah. If you put area times 2, it's bigger. It gets bigger for each time you take the same extra repeatedly.
Yeah, and I think area 2 would be fun.
Yeah, if you had area 5, it's 25-foot radius. So it's just 5 feet times number.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, in this case, it would be a spray, not, you know, necessarily. Although you could literally just have him just shoot lightning and it goes freaking everywhere around him. Just sprays it out of his mouth and it just goes jumping off in every direction. Because it is lightning. Lightning doesn't really obey spray rules in the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it depends also if we're imagining it like that, or if we're imagining it because breaking the rules, like the way a blue dragon spits lightning.
Yeah. Where it's a big line.
Yeah. Is it technically a line on a blue dragon, or is it cone?
Pretty sure it's a line with lightning breath.
Huh.
It might be the metallic that does a spray. Alright, so far you've got attacks in area 2.
Yeah, so let's see,
Another thing you could give it is useful
yeah.
power. It can it can power electrical objects.
I was planning on doing that, something like that.
Okay, so you could put that anywhere else. That was just an idea of like maybe it can shoot breath on something and power it up. That works too. If you want to put it like on its tail and it can plug it into something or whatever you imaginate, because this game is all based on that. Your kid imaginates it.
Yeah, you see that little thing on the side of its head? It has a purpose.
Okay.
I'm just double checking my options. I'm sorry this is taking so long.
Oh, that's part of the game. Because once this is all done, the game's a lot simpler.
Oh, I imagine so. Like,
Just roll the dice.
creation is just... Character creation always tends to be the most...
The character creation in this game isn't that hard, though. It's mechanically simple. It's conceptually where all the work goes in.
Yeah. The concept is... Alright, I'm trying to read spray and wonder what it actually is doing.
Spray is more like multi-fire, like rapid fire kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Like, I spray bullets into this area.
I get you. What does gnarly do?
Gnarly, gangster, just straight up, if it does damage, it does more damage.
Oh, cool.
If you successfully roll a damage roll, it just adds more. Every point of gnarly is just straight up more damage.
Whoa.
The other possibility that it's an ability you can give it is splash. Splash is exactly what it sounds like. When you hit something, it lets you hit more things adjacent to them. And I don't mean people, I mean parts of the same person.
Nice.
Because when you hit a person, you roll the hit location, like normal, you know? So say you hit their guts. You could also, by hitting their guts, hit their feet or their hands. Using splash.
Okay.
And it's electricity, so that's fitting.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and like point out all the locations that I intend, all the stuff that I intend to use, so I can keep it straight in my head.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I figured the tail had to be one, because that's, I mean, it's a tail.
God, that looks awful. Double check something here because I have something fun in mind for the tail.
Okay. You keep doing that, I will be right back.
Okay.
This is the emergency broadcast system. The CDC is advising that you stay in your home. We show up. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody.
We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party.
We show up in the party. We show up in the party. We show up in the party. We show up in the party.
That eye is entirely backward. Fun.
Nani?
Eye. Alright, what are the rules on what stuff goes with useful?
Useful is literally like, you just come up with a way that it's useful and put it there, and that's what it does.
Fair
Like,
enough.
like it could be anything from like used for climbing or flying or, you know, can open anything, can unlock doors. Like, it's all kind of just a catch-all term ability.
Fair enough. I made Twitchy Tail a bit fun. Wicked Fast 2 and Gnarly 1.
Nice. Sneak tail is also used for attacking. I kind of figured.
Yo.
So you don't have all the locations marked yet, okay.
Not yet.
And yeah, like I was saying before, you can have more than one quality on the same location as well, but each extra quality past the first cost to die. So like if you want an ability, a location that's both attack and defend, you can do that, or it attacks and has a useful. They can have both, but only one of them is free. Effective.
I'm trying to figure out only other thing. I'm thinking effective
Engineering?
yeah, something like that. It's
it
basically
works.
its tongue, and that's its body essentially.
That works. Effective engineering. So now you've got your minimum 4 locations at least.
Yeah, I've got one more I want to do. So I need to just double check how many things I've used or plan on using.
Never reminded, never taking whatever you told me.
try and point to the. Okay. See what I end up left with.
Every time you bring me close, and you're thickening the ghost of you, bleeding ties you've undone,
I'll work with this and see what I have left over. So, look at that.
Giving up, letting go. Times we might feel like I'm proud. Looking down from the heights that we have built.
Alright, so I'm gonna guess when I roll for defense, it's probably it's going to rolling for defenses, like the number of die that come up the same as subtracting damage, or
Yep, basically that's what it does.
okay.
Alright, so you've got quite a lot of location now, right? 5 through 7. So that one has 15 dice effectively. You can never roll more than 10 though, and it won't let you put more than 10 there.
Yeah.
So you've got 5 dice worth of stuff to just spend on that location.
Defense is free. The first thing is free, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like, you can leave it above, like, 10 if you want to, but that doesn't do anything unless you take damage to the location, and then it'll give you more dice after you take damage, basically. Like, say you had 12 dice in the location and you took 2 points of damage, you'd still get to roll 10 dice.
Okay.
That's basically all that does. Honestly, you're better off with tough 2 than you are with a 2-point cushion.
Let's see. You're talking about like just put all the extra dice into tough. Or
Like,
much
that's
of it?
basically what I'm saying is, like, mechanically speaking, you could leave extra dice, but if you wanted them to just be there for a cushion in case you take damage, you're better off just taking points of tough to prevent said damage.
Yeah, that's the idea with this one.
Now, that's said, like I was saying before, when you get hit, tough doesn't apply to the defending roll. It just applies to the damage you actually take.
Gotcha. I mean, that's still useful.
Oh yeah, definitely. But when it comes to tough, if you want your monster to be tough, you're going to want to put tough on almost every location. So that when the location gets hit, it takes less damage. Unless that location is supposed to be a weak point.
I getcha. Okay.
Like the one in the book is a big alligator. Every single location on its body has at least tough 1. Because it's a big scaly alligator monster. I think the only place on its entire body that didn't have tough was its eyes. What's the useful on it?
I was thinking about doing something similar to what Verdun did, because this thing is alive, but not.
Yeah.
So certain things just don't affect it.
Oh, so in that case, you have immunity.
Second.
There's actually an extra called immunity. It's not in the core book.
See, I know there's one thing that I want. Because there's 2 things I want to give sharing.
Well, if you put sharing on a location, you don't need to put it on there more than once. Unless you want to be able to share it to more than one person. Normally sharing only affects the kid.
Yeah, I figured as much.
I'm assuming you want immunity electricity.
Let's see. One of the things. Fine. Hoskins being needy. That moment when the flashlight click clack Jack to the rescue because living battery.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely... Okay, so with this, you'd have 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you get it right, so you have 90, 10 left.
And this is a teeny tiny location.
And to be specific, actually, now that you have sharing on that location, you can share either immunity electricity or tough with the kid.
So...
They'd only get 1 point of tough, but they get tough on a kid.
Right?
Kid gets like hit in the face with a metal rod and just kind of like walks it off.
Right? That doesn't hurt as much as it should have.
That's weird. Now once you're done filling these all in, I'm going to rearrange them based on they go from top to bottom.
I figured as much. I tried
So
to do that, but
yeah,
I
it's
realized,
fine.
whoop,
So it'll go jaw, living battery, claws, or no, the hands aren't. Yeah, the hand claws don't do anything. So it'll go jaws, living battery, effective engineering, twitchy tail, clinging claws currently.
yeah.
Now the clinging claws could literally mean both hands and feet. That's fine too.
Yeah. They're both somewhat hard to hit as opposed to the rest of it.
Yeah.
Which is basically where I'm coming to. Do I want to add one more thing, or do I want to just stick with what I have? Because I had one more idea, and that's seeing in the dark.
You could make the eyes a single location, yes. That would be a good one.
Yeah. So when I put the useful quality in, just like, you know, oh, it can charge things and be a living. Do I just put the useful quality on there, or what else do I do, if anything?
You would put useful and then in parentheses what it can do. In this case, power source would basically be the best way to probably put it. And there's actually another ability you could give it for that, an extra to add on to that if you want to give it something cool. It's called Sweet. Sweet makes it so you add more it's just like a Wicked Fast and or like the other ones that give you more dice kind of effectively, but only if you already succeeded. Except only on useful abilities.
Yeah.
So if you have to actually make a check with it, it boosts it up.
Yeah.
But it depends how you want to do it. Like, it just makes it so it's better at doing X thing.
Gotcha. So does the normal effect still apply, or does it automatically make me have to roll every time, or do I have the option of
Which one? The
adding sweet on?
Sweet would just be it basically just be a single one. It's exactly the same as Sweet is each rank of Sweet increases the width of a successful roll for a useful power when determining how well you do by 1.
Gotcha.
It's gnarly, but for things that don't do damage.
Gotcha. Do I normally have to roll for useful, or?
It depends on the difficulty. Okay. Most of the time, like powering things, you're not gonna have a problem with it. But if like they're broken, like you're trying to charge a dead like just an old rickety battery, you might have to roll it.
All right, I'll give it sweet 1.
Okay. Sweet. I love the names of the extras just for how weird they are. It's like, sweet, wicked fast.
God, it's so 90s.
It is. That's the beauty of it.
It's so 90s.
Gnarly.
It hurt. Gnarly dick. As Rhett just kind of twitches.
and harder, more less. Never stop, no rest, till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck, progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests, more blessed. Dug deep down, trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest, I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts, like jumping off the
So you decided to add one more?
Yeah, I'm just
Oh right, the clinging claws, like, forgot about that.
yeah.
Now, like I said before, though, like, sharing, if you want to be able to share your useful power source, you have to give that the sharing on that location as well. Sharing is by location.
Yeah. I wasn't really thinking about giving that one sharing as much.
Okay. Yeah, I was just making sure, like, that's how that works. Each location has to have sharing if there's an ability you want to share on it.
Gotcha. And this is what come to a bit of an impasse. Because, okay.
Sweet one sharing, nice. That puts it down to 3 dice.
This is where I decide if I want to give more to Clinging Claws or...
You've got 5 locations, which is that's average. So you can keep that at 5 and just sort some more tough into things and stuff like that if you wanted to, or you could add another smaller location and give it something niche.
Yup. Let's see. You know what? This does need tough, so I'm gonna add my last die here.
You could also give your Clinging Claws attacks if you wanted to. Or defense, or both.
It could. Let's see. Brings me up to 8.
Okay,
Alright. There we go.
it's all done now.
Yup. I get how, like, Click Clack Jack is meant to be kind of opposite of Ret, which is, you know, He wants hugs, and he wants to be. He's a little bit more outgoing, whereas Rhett is just like.
Alright, and there's your locations now that they're rearranged. 1 to 2 is the Snapjaw, 3 is Living Battery, 4 through 6 is Effective Engineering, 7 and 8 is Twitchy Tail, and 9 and 10 is Clinging Claw.
Awesome.
And there's your monster over here. Let's go ahead and save the version with the name. And that makes us pretty much done.
Awesome. I hope it's sufficiently mad science for you.
I like it. It works. Alright, well, that was fun. Got our monster done. We will... I'm looking forward to doing Flint's next. I'm sure he's got something fun in store.
Oh dear. Well, it's Flint, so, you know.
Something we don't expect, exactly.
What day are you planning on trying to schedule this, if you have one?
It depends what people's availability will be, but probably whatever day's best for the other you and Flint mostly, honestly. Because me and Verdon, our schedules are pretty open.
Yeah, like my most open day is Monday.
Yeah, and then it'll have to be in the later afternoon if it's a weekday because of Flint working until about 6.
Yeah. Most weeks I'm off, unless they override my unavailability.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen very often, so, you know.
But this has been fun. We got our next monster. I've gotten started on the coloring, but I'm not finished yet. I'll send you a finalized version of the when it's done being colored. And then it can join the potato on the main screen.
I had to do that.
I love this main screen. Especially now that I've got the 2 pictures in there. Look at these problem children. We got this weirdo with a cowboy hat, thinks they're from Texas. And this cheeky breaky mofo.
Tax maniac.
But that pretty much concludes what we're doing here.
From that picture is an oil barrel.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Alright, on that note, I think this is where we're going to wrap it up. It's almost 9 o'clock. This has been fun. I hope you had fun drawing your weird monster. Mr. Click-Clack Jack himself. We'll get Flint's character creation scheduled, and then after that, we'll start figuring out when we're actually going to do this thing. And get the ball rolling. I'm looking forward to getting this going, finally. But on that note, we're going to sign off for tonight, so...
Imagine a giant, like, serpentine dragon creature made partially out of metal giving you a hug.
Best of friends. Alright.
Oh boy.
So until next time, folks, keep your torches lit.
Now imagine it giving you a hug in winter.
Keep your torches lit, delve deep, and keep rolling. Bye.